really looking to find the Welcome to Portland, Oregon, where the Fremont Bridge is the backdrop for today's USL clash between Portland Timbers 2 and Fresno FC here at Merlo Field on the campus of the University of Portland. And with that, good afternoon and welcome into the broadcast booth alongside two-time MLS Cup champion and former Portland Timber Nat Borchers. I'm Fletcher Johnson. Nat, Portland Timbers 2 comes into this matchup today really looking to find the rhythm again that they had early on in the year that brought them so much success.
Certainly, Fletcher, and it's all about rhythm today for Cameron Knowles' team. They really need to start scoring goals. That's very important. They've only scored 2 goals in the last 3 games, and so offensively there's going to be a lot put on that front 4 for the T2 lineup.
You look at their success this year, hadn't lost consecutive matches until the current 3-game losing streak they are in the midst of right now. Meanwhile, for Fresno FC in their inaugural season, have to be pleased, does Adam Smith, the manager, with the way that this team has performed, given that midway through the year, they're still in the hunt for a playoff spot.
Certainly, 5 games for Adam Smith's team. It's the first year with this group, and he's put together a physical, big team. 15 of the 26 players on this roster are 6 foot or above, which means I think set pieces are going to be very important in this game, and they're coming off a big result against Sacramento Republic FC, 2-0 win against their rivals, so they've got some momentum in hand.
Plenty of experience on this Fresno FC roster, despite being their first season in USL. We'll take a look at our players to watch now, and speaking of experience for Fresno FC, it's a player in Juan Pablo Cafu who has 4 goals this year, which is second on the team, but brings a wealth of worldwide experience.
Yeah, Juan Pablo Cafu is going to be sitting there in the middle of the pitch, just underneath Cheney up top, and he's going to be pulling the strings for this Fresno FC team. Look for him to slip those final balls in, look for him to get on that left foot and be striking balls from distance on goal.
Meanwhile, for T2, Marvin Loria will be playing on the right side of midfield for Cameron Knowles today. He's created 22 chances in just 13 appearances, which leads T2.
And Marvin Loria's movement and his speed are what sets him apart right now in creating chances. Look for him to come in from that right side of midfield, create, slip those final balls to Foster Langsdorff and to Jeremy Abobasi, and look for him to be dangerous on the counterattack.
It's the first ever meeting between Portland Timbers 2 and Fresno FC. They will play each other again later this year on September 22nd down in California. But Portland Timbers 2 want to make today one to remember for their opponents and themselves to break out of this 3-match losing streak. We'll have starting lineups and opening kickoff coming up next here from Merlo Field as we are just about set for USL Soccer. Welcome back to Merlo Field. Portland Timbers 2 looking for their 9th win of the season. Meanwhile, the visitor Fresno FC looking for their 6th victory here in 2018 and their 2nd on the road. As we have a chance to take a look at the starting lineups, we'll start off with the visitor Fresno FC, who will play basically amounts to a 4-4-2 in front of CJ Cochran in net. Zachary Ellis-Hayden, 4 assists. We'll start it right back. Had one last match. And Christian Cheney gets a start up top. 2 goals in a 4-match stretch. Yeah, and look for Zachary Ellis-Hayden to really get up and down that right flank. Great chances, great crosses for Christian Cheney to finish. He is a big boy up top. Number 21, keep an eye on him. T2 backline will have to keep an eye on him in the box, certainly to keep him from scoring. Meanwhile, for Portland Timbers 2, 6 changes from their last time out against Reno. Roy Miller gets his 2nd straight start. Coming back from the torn Achilles, Jeremy Abobasi gets a start up top. Yeah, Roy Miller getting some more minutes here on that Achilles. He's going to have a ton of experience on that back line for T2. And then Jeremy Abobasi, he's going to be trying to open things up on that Timbers front line, really get some space, create some space with that speed up top. That's been lacking for T2 recently. Looking at the 4th official right now, Lucas Brooks. Our head referee is Alejandro Mariscal, who is actually an official for last night's MLS Timbers match, as Portland got the job done against the San Jose Earthquakes. He will be assisted by Corbin May and Andrew Marahart. And as mentioned, Lucas Brooks, his 4th official. Both teams huddling up right now as we are just about set for opening kickoff in this matchup. First ever between Fresno FC and Portland Timbers 2. Nat, you look at T2, we mentioned the 3-game losing streak, the 6 changes in this lineup. I think Cameron Knowles in this Portland Timbers 2 side trying to bring back some of that experience and bring back some of those players that led and created a lot of the success early on in the season. And that's what you want to do, Fletcher. You want to go back to what works, right? You want to go back to the winning ways, go back to where you were getting results. And they haven't played poorly necessarily, T2, in recent games against Reno. They actually had a good performance, outshot Reno by a significant amount. Just couldn't get that final goal, couldn't get that final pass right. And so I think, again, it's going to be important for that front four to get things right. And conversely, for Fresno, they actually are going with the same lineup they had in their win against Sacramento Republic. So Adam Smith, head coach, wants to go with what's familiar to him in terms of getting points and getting results. Eric Williamson back in the starting lineup for Portland, making his first appearance with T2 since May 26th. Jeremy Abobasi standing over it, the U20 U.S. men's national team player. Played in the World Cup a couple seasons ago. Gets us underway as we hear the whistle from Alejandro Mariscal, and we are playing USL soccer here. Portland Timbers 2 and Fresno FC. As mentioned, Fresno's had their struggles on the road, winning their first road match of the season against Sounders 2, but having failed to pick up a win in their last 8 road matches since, as Kaffa on the ball here early. Meanwhile, T2 actually 4-3 at home, but 4-4-2 away from home. So they've experienced a fair amount of success on the road. Would like to have seen those 3 losses be 3 wins. Held the lead in 2 of those matches, but were unable to get the job done, as the ball forward finds the feet of Vuelto, and now with Zambrano. Yeah, in the early going, I'm really going to look for both teams to see what kind of pressure they're putting on the ball, because certainly it's going to be hot out here today. I think we're looking at mid-80s by the halfway point in this game, and you can't really sustain that kind of high energy, kind of high pressure in this kind of weather. So it's going to be very important for both teams to get on the ball and sustain a high amount of possession. Yeah, low humidity temperature around 82 degrees right now on the natural grass surface here at Merlo Field. Certainly nice for these players to not have to be playing on turf, given the extra heat it adds to the field, as Langsdorff gets his first action. Zambrano with the long switch over to Jadama, who is wearing the captain's armband today. Mudu Jadama making his 15th start for T2 this season. And it's going to be interesting to see how Mo Jadama does there on that right side. He's used to playing in the center back position, so it's going to be a little bit different for him today, positionally speaking. Ellis-Hayden does well to dispossess Marco Farfan. And Fresno FC will now look to bring the other direction. It's a side, as you mentioned in the pregame, Nat, coming off a 2-0 win against Sacramento Republic. Kaffa got the early goal, and then it was a 60-yard goal from Frank Tayu, who's on the bench today. Could potentially see action for Adam Smith's side, who got the ball past Josh Cohen, caught him out, And a big win for Fresno FC, their 5th of the season. But it's a club that's found results here early in the year as Ribeiro. Shot comes from Kaffa after the Ribeiro shot, but Kaffa was offside. And disaster averted here early for Kendall McIntosh at Portland.
Yeah, T2's got to be very aware here. They're letting a lot of space in front of the box, and especially Ribeiro here. He's able to get on his left foot here and just ping a nice shot. Kendall McIntosh with a good save. Unfortunately falls to the Fresno FC player, but offside position, fortunately, for T2.
Yeah, worth noting, Kendall McIntosh making his first T2 start since May 5th. Made a couple U.S. Open Cup starts for Portland Timbers too.
Yeah, but Ribeiro early on really showing his skill on the top of that box there. And Williamson and Zambrano are going to have to be aware of that. And certainly the center backs for T2 are going to have to be aware of those shots from distance.
Whistle comes from Mariscal as Zambrano's fouled. The restart for Portland. Eric Williamson will get us underway. And Zambrano will play over to Jadama. Interesting to see how these attacking four for Portland play with one another. Abobasi so dynamic up top. Has Langsdorff underneath him, who has 6 goals this year. Laurie on the right, Vuelto on the left. Derrickson Vuelto hasn't quite found it yet as Roy Miller trying to chase back. It was Cheney who got behind him. Roy Miller able to recover. Now Kaffa with the shot wide to the left of Kendall McIntosh's net. So Fresno with the better of the opportunities here early, but haven't yet really troubled Kendall McIntosh too much.
Yeah, sloppy here from Eric Williamson. He just gives the ball away in middle of the field, and then it's just a race to get in behind there. Roy Miller does a very good job of just defending there on Cheney, and then it's just a drop ball to Kaffa, who doesn't get enough on it, get it on net. But a bit sloppy here from T2, a bit nervy in the early going here on their home field.
Talk about when things are going right, Nat. It seems like you can do no wrong. How does that play when things aren't going right on a 3-match losing streak, and maybe you can't feel like you can do anything right?
Yeah, and those are the interesting parts of the mentality of this game is making sure that you start games right. You start games with the right amount of energy, and you're not giving up early chances. And for this T2 team, you know, it's about going back to what made them so good in the early stages of this season.
Verhoeven's cross comes in, nearly finds the head of Ribeiro. And it does. It is out for a goal kick. So you see the size already playing a role. Ribeiro 6'4", 208 pounds, towers over some of those Timbers 2 center backs. And Christian Cheney, number 21, playing up top today for Fresno, stands 6'2", 195. So already seeing some of that height playing a factor, Nat.
Yeah, and you know, I think, as I was saying about T2, I think, you know, what they've done really well this season and what Cam Knowles has done well is really that early high press, especially at home, just making sure their opponents know, hey, it's not going to be easy for you to play out. We're going to win balls in higher up the field, and it's going to be easier for us to score goals that way. And certainly making sure that they're physical. They're making sure that they're getting stuck into tackles. And then once the game settles down, it's all about that possession. Williamson and Zambrano, for them today, they're going to have to get on the ball. They're going to have to make sure they dictate the tempo of this game.
Vuelto with a cheeky little touch to try and get around Ellis Hayden, but Zachary Ellis Hayden does well to get the ball back to Cochran.
You know, when I looked at this lineup for the Foxes, I'm thinking, man, these guys are big. A lot of guys who are 6 foot or above. I'm looking over there thinking, man, set pieces are going to really be a factor in this game. Be very careful that if you're on the T2 back line, not give anything up. Make sure that you don't let these guys get into the box easy and have chances.
Roy Miller on the ball right now, as we mentioned in pregame, making his 2nd straight start for T2. And Nat, you look at Roy Miller, a player who has done a lot of hard work rehabbing a torn Achilles suffered on the last day of practice in 2017 with the MLS Timbers.
And having gone through the process of tearing an Achilles and going through the rehab process, I know exactly what he's going through. I've had really good conversations with Roy Miller, and I've really been impressed with his outlook, his positivity. He's always got a smile on his face, and he's made really good strides on this injury, and he's been looking really good, just coming back, getting some minutes underneath him. This is his 2nd game for T2, and he looks good. He looks like he's moving well, and it's going to take some time to get his confidence back, to really get that movement back, to make things feel right in that Achilles, but certainly he's got the right outlook.
T2 with some extended possession here, long cross, diagonal ball. can't control it. And Ellis Hayden clears to midfield, but some extended possession here for Portland in the early going.
Yeah, this is what I want to see from Portland, especially with a guy like Bill Tuiloma on the back line. You can really get switching balls going once you get that sustained possession. And Zambrano, he can hit a nice long ball.
Zambrano fouled in the center circle. Cheney doesn't like the call. As you look at Roy Miller on loan from the MLS Timbers. The 33-year-old was signed by the MLS Timbers January 4th of 2017. And as mentioned, suffered that torn Achilles. Played a big role for the MLS Timbers last year as Vuelto's ball forward too far out in front of Abobasi. And easy stuff for Cochran to come out and control with his feet.
Yeah, and Roy Miller really had a nice season last year for Portland Timbers. He's a versatile player. He can play left back, he can play center back. I really like the bite he has in his game, Fletcher. He really gets tight to strikers. He is not afraid to mix it up with them. I remember playing against Roy Miller and being frustrated by some of the physical antics he had. And man, when you're playing on his team, you love to play with a guy like that because he's experienced, he's physical, and he makes very good decisions on the ball as well.
Farfan rises over Ellis Hayden, but it's out to touch. Kaffa now to Ramon Del Campo. We talk about Roy Miller. Miller and Ramon Del Campo were teammates together at Deportivo Saprissa down in Costa Rica during the 2015-16 campaign. So a couple familiar faces squaring off on the field here today. One of a couple different familiar faces between these two sides, and specifically as well as it relates to the MLS Timbers. We'll talk more about that as Williamson comes over to dispossess Ellis Hayden and earns the throw. So good defensive work, and actually they'll say it's a foul that Williamson picked up there.
I'm expecting to see a lot from the Foxes today in terms of just long balls into the head of Cheney, and Roy Miller did a great job there defending him, but he's a big body. He's going to be trying to run in behind that back line and trying to win those balls and have some hold-up play so that the Foxes can advance their play.
Fresno bring it forward. Nice ball from Cheney, picks out Ribeiro, and Roy Miller with an important right foot to control that, as I believe that was Barrera lurking. Make it Kaffa who is back there trying to get on the end of that cross in from Ribeiro. T2 happy to settle things down a bit as Tuiloma now with the ball at his feet. Bill Tuiloma, 4 appearances with the MLS Timbers, making his 4th start with the USL Portland Timbers 2 side. As this ball rolls out across the end line, and C.J. Cochran will take the restart, gives us an opportunity to talk about manager Adam Smith, a familiar face to longtime Portland Timbers and Portland Timbers 2 fans, as Smith was on the bench in the inaugural 2 seasons with the MLS Timbers under manager John Spencer, who was the goalkeeping coach, and then after that moved on to be the academy coach for this Portland Timbers organization.
I have to think there's a lot of familiar there for the likes of Andrew Greger, Cam Knowles, and Aiden Brown for the T2 coaching staff. Certainly there's going to be a lot on the line then for them
nice
against Adam Smith.
Layoff by Abobasi, and a shot comes from Marvin Loria. It's pawed away with the right hand by C.J. Cochran.
That's excellent work from Marvin Loria. I really like when he comes inside, especially gets on that left foot here. His movement is so good. First, a couple quick steps, dribble the ball, and then boom, he releases his shot, and it's a nice save from the goalkeeper, Cochran.
Loria deadly with that left foot and forces a corner kick, the first of the afternoon for T2.
He didn't miss by much, certainly, and it's a great save from Cochran. He's going to be happy with that one.
A Fresno player down in the box as Mariscal blows his whistle, and Eric Williamson will wait on the corner kick. Not sure what happened. Looks like a player grabbing his back of his right leg. And that looks to be Alex Cooper, the 26-year-old Birmingham, England native, who is down. Hadn't called his name much yet today, playing the left back spot. His first season in America after spending 2017 in the Scottish Championship with Inverness Caledonian Thistle FC.
Yeah, you don't want to see this if you're Fresno FC. Certainly having a a defender on the back line go down early. You may have to burn a sub here early in the game. It's the first 10 minutes, 12 minutes of the game. So very important that Fresno makes an adjustment here, or I think it's their hope that they're going to be able to play on.
And quickly up off the bench to warm up a bit was Bradley Camden Faywo, a 23-year-old from Paris, France. As Cooper is on his feet, walking off under his own power. Doesn't seem to be carrying too much of a limp. We haven't seen the sub called for to this point, as the head trainer for Fresno, David Holford, came out to take a look. Cooper will do a bit of running here on the side, and the whistle blows. Eric Williamson strikes the free kick with his right foot towards the back post. Header won by Tuiloma, just couldn't get enough on it, and in the end, easy for Cochran. Yeah, and you have to like that set piece from T2, looking for that back post here, and especially you have a big boy like Bill Tuiloma. He's able to get up here. Look at him just rise up above, and he's wide open at that back post. Unfortunately, needs to get that a little bit farther to the far post, but an easy save for Cochran in the end. Ribeiro plays out to Barrera, his first real action of the afternoon. And it goes to Argueta. Argueta dribbles into the attacking half. A layoff for Verhoeven. Fresno FC still playing a man down, as Cooper trying to stretch out, see if he can go. And it looks like we will see the first substitution of the afternoon for Fresno. Unfortunate, as Bradley Camden Faywo will come on for Alex Cooper, whose day is done after less than a quarter hour.
And this is a pretty major adjustment for Fresno to make this early in the game. Again, it just means that down the stretch for this game, it may be difficult for Adam Smith to make the decisions, the changes he wants to make to influence the game.
Couple goals and an assist for Cooper. So he'd been filling up the stat sheet, so to speak, in different opportunities for Fresno this year. Meanwhile, Camden Faywo, no shortage of experience here, making his 13th appearance for Fresno this season. Born in Paris, grew up in Calgary, and 51 appearances over the last 2 years with the Rochester Rhinos. He'll make the run, but Jadama, about 5 yards in front of him, will pick this one up. And under pressure, we'll play to Tuiloma, go back to Jadama, and T2 release some pressure. Now to a Bobaseed, controls with his chest, good work, but then his second touch is cut out by Argueta.
Yeah, Bobaseed initially did really well there, but just couldn't get that last touch to really possess the ball and hold the ball up like he wanted to.
Koff a long switch over to Verhoeven, and the flag is up for offside on the 18-year-old Surrey, BC native.
I'm really interested to see how this matchup in the midfield goes, Fletch, between these two teams. You're going to really have four players in the midfield at any one given time who are true midfielders. Plus, you're going to have Foster Langsdorff and Juan Pablo Caffa really coming in underneath and trying to create overloads. Plus, the outside backs coming forward. It's going to be really interesting to see who's able to be more aggressive and get more numbers forward in this game.
Vuelto does well to use his pace to pick up the ball. Now corner the 18 with Loria. Loria sends the cross in, headed on by Vuelto. A glancing header goes to the right of Cochran's net. CJ Cochran was troubled, but Vuelto couldn't put it on frame.
This is the second time we've seen Marvin Loria be dangerous with his left foot. He's really just good looking for an outswinging ball here. Just misses the goal here with that header, but very, very dangerous from Marvin Loria in these early going moments of this game.
You see why he leads T2 in chances created, as he was able to pick out Vuelto. And you certainly feel that even though to this point in the match, Fresno's maybe had the better of the goal-scoring opportunities, T2 has had the better of the possession, seem to be growing into this match as time goes along.
Yeah, and I think going down Marvin Loria's side is going to be important, because, again, he's able to create a lot of space and a lot of chances just with his movement, coming inside, going outside and really getting on that left foot and just creating trouble for that back line of Fresno.
Caffa out wide to the left to Verhoeven. Fresno has done the majority of their work on this side, or I should say on the left side of their formation. Switched over to the right to Ellis Hayden. Now ball back forward is going to be too much on it from Barrera in the direction of Ellis Hayden and out to touch.
I think so far T2 has just done a good job of being compact and really forcing Fresno to play those long balls and really doing a good job of winning the second balls, because against a big team like Fresno, it's going to be important to win those second balls because they got some big bodies in there and they're going to be very physical, challenging for those second balls.
T2 struggled in these 3 matches that they've lost in the spine of the team, up the center of the field. And you bring in Roy Miller, Bill Tuiloma, 2 experienced players who played internationally, played in different countries across the world. Eric Williamson back into the fold with Renzo Zambrano, who's played very well, and Abobasi up top, who another player with international experience. As Loria's dribble forward is cut out momentarily, but T2 picked possession back up 40 yards from goal with Williamson. Now to Vuelto, takes a shot, make that Abobasi who took the shot. Langsdorff able to get on the end of it, corner of the box, far side. Langsdorff plays central for Zambrano, and then Ribeiro plays it out to touch. Quickly back in to Zambrano, now to Jadama, chase backward. Into the center circle for Miller, and now out to Farfan. Loria floating all over the field, picks it up on the left side, plays to Farfan. First time cross, can't get enough curl on it, touches side netting, out for a goal kick.
I can't go every time.
Yeah, well, look here on this turn from Jeremy Bose. He just gets the ball on his left foot and just pings it in, and it's just dipping there for Cochran. Cochran does a great job of getting down for that ball, but it's a great turn from Jeremy Abobasi. And you'd have to say that you really want to see him getting in front of that those 2 center backs today, and certainly I want to see more from him in terms of his speed and his hold-up play, but that was an excellent opportunity from Jeremy Abobasi.
The USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7. Follow @USL on Twitter. Fresno FC with a bit of possession, cut out momentarily by Williamson, but straight to Argueta. The 26-year-old with the ball at his feet, plays it to Kaffa. Make that Verhoeven. And now Fresno play backwards into their own half. Happy to sustain a bit of possession here. Now Camden Fewo with his first touch. Cross into the box, just too far out in front of Cheney. McIntosh spills it for a moment, but no one was there from Fresno. And T2 quickly the other direction. Zambrano, long dribble forward. Now will settle. Play to Jadama. Vuelto taken out at midfield. Will we see a foul called? Yes, indeed we do. Whistle came late from Alejandro Mariscal.
And look at it, just this last chance there from Fresno. The center backs really don't pick up Cheney there on that run. I think there's something that to be had there for Fresno if they can get a better ball into the box. Cheney is wide open. The center backs for T2 really need to be aware of his movement. He's still standing off the shoulder of the nearest center back, Bill Tuiloma.
And Christian Cheney has an interesting story. 9 appearances in 2 years with Sacramento most recently before this season. But during the 2016 season, played in a friendly against Armenian club Arayat Yerevan, and was then actually signed by the club, went over, didn't make many appearances in Armenia, but just shows you the different ways in which players can be found. Friendly type format. I'm sure Cheney never would have believed that he would have been playing soccer in Armenia at some point in his career. As he brings this one down in the box, takes the shot, and goes top left net. Kendall McIntosh diving to his left, can't get to it. And Fresno FC on top in the 22nd minute.
And we were just talking, Fletcher, about how important it is to pick up Cheney in the box. That big body, he's done such a good job of pulling off the shoulder of the center backs here. And for this goal, what a fantastic finish. What a fantastic strike for him.
Cheney's 3rd goal of the season.
And as you'll see, the ball comes in. It's a great ball from Juan Pablo Kaffa, and he just takes his first touch, gets around the defender, and just rifles it home to the left of Kendall McIntosh. Nothing McIntosh can do about this, but look at that first touch. Just gets around. I think it goes underneath the defender there, and what a finish from Cheney. Well done. 1-0 Fresno.
And it's a big goal for the Foxes. When they score first, they are 5-0-4 on the season. So yes, they've been known to give up goals and have games end in draws, but they have not lost when they've scored first.
And you have to argue definitely not the type of defending that Cam Knowles is going to want to see in the box. He's a former center back, certainly. It's only one striker in the box for both center backs to keep track of, so certainly the onus is on them to keep track of Cheney, and should have been tighter there.
Verhoeven. And Kaffa, the long switch over to Barrera. Barrera's had success against Portland before. Hayden goes down, and a penalty kick is called. The foul on Loria at the corner of the box, and Alejandro Mariscal blows his whistle, points to the spot, and in a span of 2 minutes, Fresno could have a pair of goals.
It's incredible how quickly things change in games like this, and how aggressive that this Fresno team has been. Just look at the underlapping. It's just a difficult challenge there from Marvin Loria. He shouldn't be challenging there, and looks like an easy penalty call for the head referee, Mariscal.
So it will be Kaffa to take. This is just the second penalty kick earned by Fresno all season long. Meanwhile, for T2, they've only faced 2 so far this season. And it'll be Kaffa to strike with his left foot. He has 2 goals in 2 games, does Juan Pablo Kaffa, and Fresno have doubled their lead.
And Kaffa there, very calm, very composed, just buries the ball to Kendall McIntosh's left. Kendall McIntosh staying tall, staying big, trying to predict which way that ball is going to go, but he's unable to make that save. It's a good goal, but 2-0 to the Foxes.
Well, and when it rains, it pours, you could say, for Fresno. This is a team that when they win, they've only won 5 times all year, but when they win by multiple goals. Their last 3, in fact, have come by multiple goals. And with a 2-goal lead here, less than a half hour in, against T2 on their home field.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see T2's response here. They didn't respond well after the first goal, obviously, and so now they find themselves 2 goals down. How do they respond, Fletcher? Are they going to be able to get themselves out of this and really put together some chances, maybe get a goal before halftime?
Williamson picks it up on the center line. Now to Langsdorff, who's been very quiet so far this afternoon. Langsdorff fouled. Ribeiro doesn't like the call. But Mariscal's whistle comes. A dangerous opportunity to send the ball into the box for T2 and try and find a way to get one back.
Yeah, you said Foster Langsdorff's been quiet. He usually is quiet for a majority of games until he gets on that score sheet. Usually he doesn't participate a whole lot in the build-up play, but he is lethal in the box, as we've seen the majority of this season here. And if T2 is going to be successful, they're going to have to find him in the box.
Given his position on the field, can T2 be allowed to have a player playing, you could argue, in that 10-role play in a relatively quiet way, as Williamson's ball comes in, headed on actually by Camden Fewo, but picked up by Ellis Hayden and cleared all the way to McIntosh.
Well, I think to answer your question, Fletcher, I think that's why Marvin Loria is in there. He's really going to be the one to pull the strings, really to link things up between the midfield and that forward line. And I think Foster Langsdorff, he's really looking to run off Jeremy Abobasi, and again, not really looking to link things up in there, but really to get on the end of things and crosses in the box.
Abobasi controls with his left boot, gets it out to Farfan near side. Farfan, Williamson gets around Ribeiro. Can't get around Ellis Hayden, though. Ellis Hayden's been a spark plug for this Fresno side since coming back from injury. As Langsdorff picks it up, drops for Abobasi. Abobasi brings forward. Defended by 3 men, gets through all of them. Now will send the cross in with his left foot. Header on by Vuelto, but wide of the net.
And this is good moving from Jeremy Abobasi, able to get on the ball a little bit, drive at the back line, get out wide and get across into the box. Unfortunately, can't get the header on net, but you want to see that from Jeremy Abobasi. He's been a bit more active in these recent moments.
Cochran with the restart. Fresno, as we mentioned, looking for just their 2nd road win of the season. Have not won on the road since March 28th against Sounders 2, and in great position to potentially do so this afternoon with a couple goals in a couple minutes, earning them a 2-0 lead. Farfan now to Vuelto. Vuelto showed his pace here this afternoon. Still looking to get his account opened here in 2018. Williamson, through ball for Vuelto, able to get on the end of it, tries to cross it in. No one was making the run anyways and couldn't get much on it. Ends up rolling out for a goal kick.
Yeah, this is a good spell from T2 there. They're able to get some good opportunities in behind that Fresno back line. And I think here, as you'll see, Eric Williamson just getting some vision, getting his head up, and just seeing the run from Derrickson Vuelto. Doesn't come off, but obviously a good opportunity for T2.
Fresno's taken better advantage of the moments here in the first half hour, but there has been some encouraging play from T2 as well, though they have not yet found the goal. Miller settles and plays to Tuiloma. Zambrano, the through ball for Laurier. He's in a foot race with Del Campo. And the 24-year-old California native wins out, but then Laurier gets it back, plays it diagonal back towards the top of the box. No one was making the run. I think he was expecting Zambrano to be there, but he had stopped the charge forward. And in the end, easy stuff for Fresno to pick up and start to bring forward. Ball played central by Barrera, taken away by Miller, but then Ellis Hayden knocks it away from Miller. Center circle now for Verhoeven. Zambrano pressuring Verhoeven. Foul called at the center line on Zambrano.
Referee just having some words there for head coach Adam Smith. I think he's getting a little bit wound up there on the sideline. But as you see, there's been some physical confrontations in recent moments between these two teams. Going to be interesting to see how this one plays out.
Camden Fewo brings it forward, now corner the 18 against Shadama. Will dribble all the way to the end line, headed away by Tuiloma. Now at the feet of Verhoeven. He'll get it by Williamson. Dangerous cross, nearly finds Cheney. Cut out by Tuiloma. And now T2 release pressure. Zambrano, long switch over to the near side for Vuelto. Can he get there? He can, but he can't keep it in play. Vuelto got the first touch on it, but couldn't get the second before the ball rolled all the way across the sideline.
It's going to be important for T2 if they're going to be playing out of the back. They link up, they get that next pass right to sustain that possession they need.
Ribeiro plays to the corner of the box for Cheney. Cheney now drops for Ellis Hayden. Ellis Hayden will take the shot. Nifty little movement on it, maybe knuckling a bit. Had Kendall McIntosh worried, but in the end, high over the crossbar.
Ellis Hayden's been fun to watch in these early stages of this game. Certainly, he's able to get the ball at the top of the box, really put it on his right foot and just ping this ball. And it's just dipping and never going to be troubling Kendall McIntosh, but certainly something that T2 needs to be aware of on this right-hand side.
Ellis Hayden was the USL Team of the Week selection last week after an assist against Sacramento Republic in that win. Spent time with Orlando City B before joining Fresno this season. Mickey Daly. Haven't called his name much today. He'd like it that way, playing one of those center back spots.
Fresno doing a really good job there, just overloading this right-hand side there. Verhoeven coming in, really getting overloads. Zambrano and Williamson outnumbered there in the middle. Difficult to pick things up when you have that outside midfielder coming in, tucking in from a wide position.
Kaffa plays out to Ellis Hayden, defended by Farfan. Back to Verhoeven, who's come over to the right-hand side. Played out to touch by Fresno. Some frustration from the Foxes. Jadama to Laurie has been dynamic here in the first half hour. Miscommunication between Loria and Williamson, but eventually ball works its way out to Farfan. Now Langsdorff in space. Again, miscommunication between Langsdorff and Williamson, and Ribeiro picks up possession. T2, the 6 changes from last match, maybe not quite on the same page with one another. Still trying to work out the kinks, so to speak.
Yeah, T2 just looking a little bit out of sync right now, Fletcher. Not able to find those right passes, not able to link up the way that they would like. And they really need this sustained possession right now. And they're getting chances, definitely getting in behind that midfield line.
Great pass forward by Zambrano through a line, finds Langdorf, who's chopped down. Advantage momentarily played, but then Mariscal brought it back for a dangerous free kick opportunity from about 28 yards away.
Now, Foster Langsdorff has found some spaces in between that midfield line in front of that back four for Fresno, and I think that he's been a little bit dangerous and he's causing some problems for them. As you can see here, he just gets the ball, turns, tries to play a pass over there to Bobasi and just gets hacked down. Good call by the official.
No card shown. Tuiloma and Vuelto standing over this ball. Looks like it'll likely be one of the two of them that takes this shot. Tuiloma takes a couple steps back. Looks like he will be the man to strike. He will. Goes off the wall. And we'll be out for the second corner kick of the afternoon for T2 as they try and pull one back in the midst of a 3-match losing streak. Had not lost consecutive matches until this current stretch that they're in. Would like to end it here this afternoon, but with a lot of work to do if they want to do so. Williamson, right-footed cross towards the back post. Was touched on, importantly, by a Fresno player, and we'll do it again from the other side this time.
This Fresno team really looks committed to defending today, Fletcher. Seems like they're well up for it. It's going to be difficult for T2 here. If you look at this play right here, the defender just does enough to get his head on it to go out for another corner kick, but very well done. I believe it was Cheney to get that ball headed out.
This time it'll be Loria in swinger from the far corner. Ball in towards the back post. Tuiloma gets ahead to it. Ellis Hayden puts a hand to it, and Mariscal blows his whistle. T2 now with a penalty kick opportunity to earn one back.
And we've seen T2 already looking for this back post a couple of times here. And as this ball comes in from the outside, look at the header. Goes just into the outstretched arm of the defender, and I would have to say that that's a good call from the official. The hand is in an unnatural position. The defender's arguing it's inside, but it looks a little bit strange to me, the way it was just a little bit outstretched from the body, and I think that's a good call from the official.
It'll be Langsdorff who has the opportunity to pull one back for T2. He's converted on a pair of penalty kicks. May 18th against Los Dos, put one in the back of the net. And then June 13th against Oklahoma City, did it again. Langsdorff, 5 of his 6 goals have come at home this season. And an important opportunity here in the 36th minute to pull one back for Portland. Langsdorff steps, strikes, and scores. T2 have pulled one back as we cross into the 37th minute.
And this is such an important goal for T2 to get themselves back in this game. And Foster Langsdorff makes no bones about it, hits it to the right of the goalkeeper, keeps it low, keeps it with pace. Nothing the keeper can do there. It's 2-1 now in favor of the Foxes. T2 definitely back in this game.
A big goal for Portland. And Foster Langsdorff coming into today was tied for 12th in the Western Conference in goals scored. He's pulled himself up higher on that list with an important goal less than 10 minutes before halftime.
And how important are set pieces in the game of soccer, Fletcher? You watch the World Cup and you see how much of a game changer those things can be on the execution side of the field and in getting results. And this was just a set piece from T2. They've been doing a good job of putting some pressure on Fresno, and then they get the result there on the penalty kick opportunity.
Tuiloma won the header, was fouled by Cheney, so he will take the restart. We'll see if Portland can build upon that goal from Langsdorf. Ball pinged in from the corner flag by Loria. Headed by Tuiloma back towards goal. And off the right arm of Ellis Hayden to set up the Langsdorf goal.
I'm really liking the movement here from T2, especially with Abobasi and Langsdorf really playing off each other. Langsdorf running in behind, Abobasi coming to the ball, and vice versa. It's going to be important that those two continue that movement if T2 is going to be successful offensively today.
Langsdorf goal moves him into the top 6 in the Western Conference, just 2 goals behind the leader in the conference. And he would certainly like to add to that tally again here this afternoon. Loria, 25 yards from goal, slips through for Vuelto, who's onside. Vuelto controls, still with it, corner of the box. It is Abobasi who actually had it, and actually ends up knocking the ball off of Loria as he was taking a shot across the end line for a goal kick.
Yeah, Abobasi's finding a bit of joy here, especially on this this near left-hand side of the pitch, and it just seems like he's able to get a little bit of movement away from the center backs and find some space and turn and be dangerous.
Want to keep up with the best social media from around the USL? Join Kelsey Steele every Friday on the USL social media channels for the latest edition of Off the Post. Restart, header won by Tuiloma. Goal certainly injected some life into T2 here. Fresno played high press early on in this match. Now as we get towards halftime, you wonder if their legs are tiring a little bit as it gets warmer here in Portland this afternoon. Farfan tries to keep it in play, cannot do so in front of Ellis Hayden. It'll be a deep throw in for the Foxes.
And I'm watching this Foxes 2 lines of 4 with their midfield 4 and their back line 4, and I'm really seeing some opportunities for T2 in front of the back line. It seems like the midfield is really flat, and it's creating some opportunities for Langsdorf and Abobasi to get in behind those soft spots behind that back 4. And a few times the center backs are having to step to Langsdorf, step to Abobasi, and it's creating some opportunities in behind for runners like Loria and certainly for Dierksen Vuelto to get in behind.
Tuiloma's touch too heavy. He'll have to now track back quickly as the break could be on for Fresno. Verhoeven goes down, no foul called. Adam Smith not happy and up off the bench, yelling at Lucas Brooks, the 4th official, but Marco Farfan is down. Roy Miller will play it out to touch. And Verhoeven yelling at Alejandro Mariscal, asking for the whistle. Not going to get it at this point, as Marco Farfan will get looked at.
Yeah, and this was a coming together of, I think, 4 players on T2 to 1 player on Fresno, and you'd have to think that there was a bit of contact here. We'll take another look, but certainly some great movement here from Verhoeven. Gets the 1-2 pass from Kaffa. A lot of players converge. Looks like, yeah, there is some contact from Marco Farfan, and he ends up getting the worst of it, I think, unfortunately.
Zambrano looked like he was able to touch the ball away from Verhoeven, but then Farfan came in like a train, took out Verhoeven. So as Farfan remains down,
yeah, we'll see
another look,
a different angle here and see what kind of contact here. Yeah, it looks like Zambrano gets most of the ball, and then Farfan coming in a little bit late ends up taking out Verhoeven after the play. And you think with 5 minutes left in this half, Fletcher, it's going to be really important for T2 just to make sure they maintain their wits about them. I think a 2-1 score line isn't the worst thing for them to go into halftime at. Obviously, they could push for that equalizer, but don't want to give anything up right here. When I'm on the back line with 5 minutes left, I'm barking, I'm shouting, I'm yelling, making sure everybody stays switched on. It's absolutely the worst time to give up any kind of chances or opportunities on goal.
Ellis Hayden throws in for Barrera, who does the sporting thing, knocks it back to McIntosh as it was originally played out by T2 because of the injury. McIntosh will dribble it central. See if the pressure comes from Kaffa. It does not. So McIntosh happy to take his time. Vuelto and Ellis Hayden rise up for the header. Ellis Hayden wins out, but controlled in the center circle by Miller. Tuiloma tries to play a square ball for Zambrano. It's cut out by Cheney. Break could have been on, would have been 3v3 for Fresno, but the pass from Kaffa too far out in front of Verhoeven. Here comes Loria. 5v5 if T2 hurry. Plays outside for Jadama. Late run's coming. Cross is cleared away though by Camden Fewo.
That's what I like to see with Marvin Loria, just getting the ball and just driving at these defenders and making them have to make decisions, and then whenever they step, they make a move, he's able to slip those balls in behind.
Langsdorff has it top of the box, plays it central for Abobasi, and the foul is actually called back. Langsdorff was getting grabbed pretty heavily by Camden Fewo. And after Fresno picked up possession, Alejandro Mariscal, who was playing advantage, pulls it back for a dangerous opportunity to cross or shoot for T2.
As you'll see here, Foster Langs was just really being strong, fighting off that challenge there initially, and then getting the right call afterwards. Another set piece opportunity though, Fletcher. This is going to be important for right, especially right before half. Either you ping this on goal from Loria. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Loria hit this one on net. But certainly there's some opportunities for runners to get on the end of this for T2.
Williamson and Loria will stand over it. Loria will strike it, ends up hitting Kaffa, bouncing off of Abobasi, and then Ribeiro clears. But then Roy Miller goes down, and he has remained down momentarily. Shot comes from Vuelto, and just wide of Cochran's right post.
As we'll see here, looks like Roy Miller just getting out, getting a little bit of contact there. No fouls being called. Derrickson Vuelto just takes it upon himself to just shoot. Goes wide of that near post there, but a nice shot there from Vuelto and a good opportunistic look from him.
Final 30 seconds of the regulation 45. That's seen 3 goals. Abobasi can't quite control if he could have. T2 could have had numbers. And we're hearing 3 minutes of stoppage time to be played here at the end of the first half. Throw in quickly taken by Fresno. Vuelto wins it for T2. Now Williamson plays for Loria. Can't control though. And we will pay 3 minutes of stoppage time here at the end of the first half. Long switch over to Camden Fewo. Controls. Looked like it was off his shoulder, maybe his arm. No whistle came. Played back to McIntosh, who sends it to the midfield stripe. Headed on by Ribeiro, actually. Langsdorff tries to chase it down. Hayden Ellis forced to play it back to Cochran. Can T2 find an equalizer before the break? They've had the better of the last 10 minutes. Haven't been able to keep solid possession of the ball though, and Verhoeven now brings it the other way. He's only got Cheney in the middle. Late run coming from Barrera and Ellis Hayden. Tries to find Ellis Hayden. Vuelto tracking back, wins it though, and now some space for Vuelto to bring it forward. Ribeiro comes over. He plays it central for Langsdorff. Langsdorff waited too long, and Daly cut it out before Langsdorff could get a foot on it.
Both teams looking a little bit stretched now, Fletcher. I think that going into halftime going to be important to make sure that things get a little bit more compact for both teams. I don't think they want to play this back and forth type of game, but I think it certainly suits T2 in terms of the counterattack, in terms of their transition speed.
Halfway through the added 3, nice ball by Barrera, picks out Verhoeven. He's got Cheney central. He'll wait, sit on it, leave it for Ribeiro, top of the box. Ribeiro cuts it back to his right foot, takes the shot, and it's just wide of Kendall McIntosh's left post.
And Madu Jadama just getting caught out of position here, and then Ribeiro finding some opportunities at the top of the box. Some really good footwork there, and he's just looking to curl that ball far post. It doesn't trouble Kendall McIntosh, but certainly not unlike that first opportunity Ribeiro had in the beginning of the half. He's going to be dangerous at the top of that box.
Ball pinging around in T2's attacking half. Eventually settled by Fresno as we're into the final 45 seconds of the added 3 minutes at the discretion of Alejandro Mariscal. Del Campo to Daly. Out of Barrera. Part of an infamous match in MLS Timbers history in the second half, as Fresno look happy to just play out this last 30 seconds or so. Now forward for Ribeiro. Knocked away by Farfan, out to touch.
Interesting to see Ellis Hayden's movement here on this near touchline. He's playing almost like a winger here, very high up, very dangerous in those positions.
And the halftime whistle comes exactly at the 3 minutes, or no, shouldn't say that. He was just asking Ellis Hayden to walk backwards. Now the halftime whistle comes from Alejandro Mariscal. Couple goals early for Fresno in the first couple minutes. First half hour, I should say, and then T2 get one back. Now your quick thoughts on the first half.
Yeah, well, I thought T2 looked a little bit sloppy and in their possession, weren't really able to connect the passes they would like. They got a little bit stretched in transition, which caused them a few problems, and giving up 2 goals early was difficult, but the response was good to get to 2-1.
Cheney and Kaffa with the goals for Fresno. Foster Langsdorff pulled one back in the 37th minute, and it sits at 2-1 right now at halftime. 45 down, 45 to go here at Merlo Field. We'll be back in just a bit.
Inside the area, it's Hamilton! What a finish! Jordan Hamilton! What a strike!
Depersky getting in behind.
That ball from Mirkic, and what an incredible goal from Perisky! Cordell Cato, oh my goodness, what a finish! Across the middle. Obanawi with the insurance goal. There it is! McInerney, good looking ball. Jack McInerney. Digs it back in, flicked on. Krasnenko! Brody inside the 18. Brody shot and a goal! Andrew Brody puts the Monarchs ahead in the 8th minute of play. This one sent in. Great effort! Tampa Bay equalized in the 90th. It's Damo Duro in his rowdy debut. Obi steps in. Obi shooting! Saved by Lynn. He protected the 2 points.
Volleyed in and beautifully saved. Stepping forward, header is saved. Von Williams just barely knocking it away from Doyle.
Braden Allen! Garces kept it out.
Here comes Fresno. Cooper! Safe keeper. Cohen Jordan gets in behind Francois off of Ranjitsingh. Francois again, Ranjitsingh slaps it away. Lofted over the back line and saved by Pickens as he dives aside.
And welcome back to Merlo Field here on the campus of the University of Portland. Halftime between Fresno FC and Portland Timbers 2 as the Foxes hold a 2-1 lead. Some special visitors in the building. MLS Timbers players taking in this one here today at Merlo Field. And with that, welcome back into the broadcast booth once again. Nat Borchers, Fletcher Johnson here with you. Nat, your thoughts on the first half, one that saw the Foxes get out to a 2-0 lead and Langsdorff answer back.
Yeah, for T2, I thought it was a bit sloppy. They looked a little bit lethargic, a little bit sloppy in their passing, got a little bit stretched defensively, and there were two soft goals that they gave up. But I will say on the positive end, they did respond, get the PK opportunity through the set piece. Foster Langsdorff buries it, so only being down a goal right now, they're in a good position to recover in the second half.
Let's go ahead and take a look back at the first half highlights. A couple early chances for Fresno, but we'll look at Marvin Lauria in the 11th minute, nearly putting it in the back of the net.
We wanted Marvin Lauria to be active in this game as we see him coming in on the left-hand side and really putting a nice ball to challenge the goalkeeper Cochran on the shot.
We move 11 minutes later, and it was Christian Chaney who got Fresno on the board.
Yeah, Chaney is pulling off the outside shoulder of the center backs there, just gets himself in a good position. Good first touch, gets a little bit fortunate, you could argue there, and then just buries a shot upper 90 against Kendall McIntosh. No chance for the goalkeeper.
Literally a minute later, and something T2 did not want to see Marvin Lauria commits a foul in the box.
Yeah, unfortunately, very clumsy from Marvin Lauria here. Not the response you want to see if you're Cam Knowles from your team. Easy penalty call for the referee.
Juan Pablo Caffa would be the man to step up and try and find the back of the net. He did so, his 5th goal of the year.
He just buries it there to the left-hand side of the goalkeeper. Kendall McIntosh cheated a little bit to the right-hand side there.
Then Lauria sends the ball in off the corner kick in the 36th.
Yeah, and I think this is a good call from the referee here. The ball hits the defender's unnatural position there with the hand, and so it's another easy PK call for the referee, Mariscal.
Langsdorff was 2 for 2 coming in. He made it 3 for 3.
He just buries it. Good pace, good vision, good accuracy there on the PK. No chance for the goalkeeper. 2-1 to T2. Sorry, to Fresno.
We take a look at the first half stats. Better possession on Fresno's side. Outside of that, Timbers 2 outshot the Foxes. What else sticks out to you?
Yeah, I think really it's going to be important for T2 to get better possession this second half because they just haven't done a good job of keeping the ball. They've been a bit sloppy on their touches, a bit sloppy with their passing. So moving forward, it's going to be very important in this half to keep the ball, especially because of this hot temperatures on the field here at Merlo Field.
Yeah, around 85, 86 degrees now here as the sun high in the sky in Portland. As the team, Fresno and T2 come back out on the field as you look at Cameron Knowles in his first season as Portland Timbers 2 manager, assisted by Aiden Brown right there, the goalkeeping coach to his right. And Cameron Knowles 8-7-2 so far this year. Adam Smith there 5-7-7 and in position to pick up just their 2nd road win of the season if they can hold on to this result. Portland Timbers 2 maybe actually prefer this position. It seems like when T2 have held the lead at halftime, they haven't necessarily been able to hold on to those advantages here at Merlo Field, yet they've shown the ability to come back from goal deficits at halftime in matches so far this season.
Yeah, and certainly you don't want to find yourself a goal down and always chasing it, but it does give you a clear opportunity and a clear game plan about what you have to do to get a result. And that means coming out, being aggressive, bringing the energy that you need to bring as a home side, and certainly with that front four we talked about in the open, they have to be dynamic. They have to create those chances for this team to be successful and get back into this game, and really they need to get that next goal, and it doesn't have to come right away, but the energy has to be there. They have to set the tone and get this thing right.
Have to imagine that Adam Smith mentioned this opportunity for Fresno in the halftime locker room talk. Fresno will play 5 of their next 6 at home after this match. If they've already won against Sacramento at home last week 2-0. If they pick up this result, now you look at 5 of the next 6 at home and a big time opportunity for the Foxes to not only stay in the playoff hunt, but to move themselves into playoff position with the stretch run of games here as we move into the summer and late summer to get themselves in position for a playoff berth in their inaugural USL season.
And sometimes being on the outside, just on the outside looking in, is an excellent place to be because you're hungry, you're always fighting, you're always knowing, okay, I can be overtaken by any other team in this league right now, and I have an opportunity right now to put myself in in playoff position. And I think that this is exactly what Adam Smith wants and exactly what T2 doesn't want, facing a really hungry team. And they're going to really have their work cut out for them in this second half.
No substitutions for either side here at the break. So we will start with the same 22 that we did 45 minutes ago. And Cheney will get us underway here at the discretion of Alejandro Mariscal. He blows his whistle. And we are underway in the second half from Merlo Field. Pleasure to have you with us this afternoon on ESPN Plus. Fletcher Johnson and Nat Borchers with you, as T2 will now look to find an equalizer here in the early stages of the second half.
It's going to be fun on this near side touchline to see the battle between Loria's his side of the pitch, as well as seeing the battle between Verhoeven on this side of the pitch, because both of these players have been dynamic. They've gotten a lot of touches, a lot of passes in that first half, and they're really creating chances for their teams, both of them.
Flag was up for offside there on Cheney. So T2 get the opportunity to take a bit of possession here, but they give it right back to Fresno. Juan Pablo Caffa with the goal, his second in 2 matches in the first half. Verhoeven tries to cross in, and it's knocked out for a corner kick by Mo Jadama. Here comes Camden Fewo back to the bench, getting some sort of supplement and water. It's holding his stomach, but doesn't have to come off, and it'll be Juan Pablo Caffa to strike with his left foot. An outswinger. All in towards the back post. Tuiloma rises, does not win the header. It's headed back across by Farfan though. Zambrano taken out, no foul called. Back in from Caffa towards the back post, headed on. McIntosh makes the save and cleared away by T2, Bill Tuiloma.
Well, Fresno really coming out with a lot of energy here, and then that set piece certainly getting their opportunities with those big bodies they have up there, and really finding that back post really a little bit too easy for me. The marking just wasn't quite there. The challenges weren't quite there. Not strong enough in the duels.
Bobasi heads on. Langsdorff wasn't making the run. Ellis Hayden picks it up, drops it back for Cochran. Early chance for Fresno. We've seen T2 struggle coming out of halftime in different matches throughout the course of the year. Important to not give up an early goal, given they are just 1 goal down, as Jadama fouls Verhoeven.
We'll get another look at this corner here. The ball just gets flighted in, and the second opportunity comes out here, and Tuiloma just getting out-dueled there, and a great save there from Kendall McIntosh. Gets pushed back into his in his own net, but a great reaction save there. The ball was definitely headed into the near post.
Vuelto uses his speed to get on the end of this one, keeps it in play. Brings it forward, heavy touch, allows Argueta to come over and clear it out. Cleared out to touch once again by Fresno. And now Vuelto tries to spin his man, but Del Campo wins out. Vuelto tried to get on it before it got to the end line, but could not do so. Gives us an opportunity to remind you to watch highlights from every game of the 2018 USL season and bonus content from around the league by subscribing to the league's official YouTube channel at youtube.com/USL. Foxes look to build out of the back. Cheney, Camden Fewo. Caffa keeps possession in front of Langsdorff. Now to Camden Fewo. Dribbling towards Jadama. Jadama strong, doesn't win the ball back necessarily, but forces Camden Fewo to drop to Verhoeven. Now central for Barrera, who can't reach out and control. Miller, Zambrano, Williamson. Good link-up play for T2 as they now bring it forward. Numbers if they hurry. 4v5. Ball forward for Langsdorff. He can't quite get there in front of Daly and Del Campo. And Del Campo just clears the touch.
That's a good run from Foster Langsdorf. Really reads the run from Eric Williamson. Williamson gets his head up, makes the timing of the run is right there. Just the defender reads it, does a very, very good job. The center backs from Fresno have done a good job really containing Abovasi and containing Langsdorf today.
Williamson directing traffic, telling Zambrano where he wants him to go. Now to Jadama. Defended by Verhoeven. Jadama's pass deflected, goes straight to Cheney. 2v2, 2v3 if Fresno hurry. Ball behind Kaffa, forced to slow it down. He finds Barrera further wide. Now back to Kaffa. Minimal pressure on him. Plays to Ribeiro. Back out to Barrera. Central for Kaffa. Ribeiro to Argueta. Argueta's got space in front of him. Now to Kaffa, plays it out wide to Camden Fewo. He's got time. Sends the cross in towards the back post. Mariscal does not blow the whistle. And then the shot finds the back of the net as Argueta, I think everybody almost seemed like they stopped for a moment. And in the end, it's a goal for Fresno in the first 6 minutes of the second half. And they've extended the lead back to 2.
And this isn't the way you wanted to see T2 to start this half. This is some great build-up play from Kaffa here. He gets the ball wide, and it's a good cross in. Some questionable marking there, but it's a great finish there from Fresno. And if you look at it again, it looks like there's some contact a little bit in the box. The referee lets play go on, and it's a great finish there from, I believe it's Argueta.
Yeah, Ronnie Argueta gets the goal. It extends the lead to 3-1 in favor of the visitors.
You have to say Juan Pablo Kaffa really pulling the strings in that midfield, just playing some nice 1-2 touches in the middle there. He's doing a good job of pulling off the center backs and finding space and really flooding the midfield and getting the overloads in the midfield that's making it tough for Zambrano and Williamson and the center backs to pick up.
It's a deep hole for Portland to build out of, but something they've shown the capability of doing. Pulled one back in the first half, but now need 2 to level the tally.
I've really been impressed with Fresno today, just in terms of their ability to overload in the wings, especially. We see Verhoeven here on the opposite side of the field. He's generally being tasked with being on this on the left side of the field, the near side touchline, but he's been moving over to the other side of the field, trying to get touches on the ball, overloading and just making things really difficult for T2 to mark. And Fresno's done a good job of building up, doing a good job of making those passing lanes and just creating space for each other.
When you talk about the overload, how does T2 counter that?
Yeah, well, that's where it becomes a bit of a cat and mouse game, because if you bring too many players over into that space to defend, it opens up another space for Fresno to attack. So I think the most important thing is to really defend with urgency, meaning get the ball on one side of the field and try to win it there, and not just get played through with too many numbers and in those overload situations.
Zambrano fouls Kaffa. Right down here in front of us. Kaffa wearing the captain's armband. Actually played against Sebastian Blanco and Diego Valeri of the MLS Timbers during his career in Argentina, down in the Primera Division down there. Played for Arsenal in Argentina. Well, Valeri played for Lanús. As we're back to action. Both of those, or I should say all 3 of those players, rueing the struggles that Argentina had in the World Cup this year. Did manage to find a way to advance through to the knockout rounds, but quickly exited after that.
Yeah, I was texting my old friend Javier Morales throughout some of those games, and just to think about the despair that all the Argentinians are feeling after that World Cup and Messi's performances. And, to be honest with you, though, they just didn't seem good enough. They just didn't seem like they deserved to get to the next round, and they weren't playing with that passion that we were used to seeing, and that passing ability, that final touch just wasn't there.
Cross will come in from the far corner flag. It'll be a left-footed in-swinger. Mariscal blows to talk with a couple players And now we'll be ready for the ball to come in from Kaffa. Doesn't get by the first man, Loria, who clears the way to Barrera. Barrera loses out as Vuelto tracks back. Now at the feet of Zambrano. Zambrano to Williamson. Great first touch, leads him forward. Break could be on for Portland. He has Foster Langsdorff central. Jadama making the overlapping run, plays Jadama. Jadama sends it in, looking for Abobasi. Cleared away by Del Campo, only as far as Zambrano.
And Fresno does a good job of getting numbers back there on that break. We've seen Eric Williamson really get out on the counter here and really run those legs and try to get after this Fresno back line.
Zambrano tried a lifted ball for Langsdorff, didn't get it high enough. And now Williamson plays too far in front of Jadama.
It's important that T2 doesn't get frustrated here. You know, they're 2 goals down. It is only 10 minutes into the second half. They got plenty of time to work themselves back into this game, but patience is going to be important. The experience of the players is going to be important to really the Roy Millers of the world. Make sure that they're talking to players, make sure that Bill Tuiloma is talking, make sure that guys don't get frustrated early on, because it can go south quickly if you get frustrated in a game like this.
T2 make their first substitution. Augustine Williams, the 20-year-old California native, on in place of Derrickson Vuelto, whose afternoon is done after 56 minutes.
And really
hasn't quite found his rhythm yet with this T2 side.
We were talking about that a little bit before the game, Fletch, about just how he hasn't really found that rhythm, hasn't really found his place in this team yet. And it's very difficult, especially replacing the guy like Victor Arboleda, you know, who plays at really a different pace, a different style of play. And so it's going to be difficult for him to find his way, but certainly it's going to, you know, he's got some time to do that. And it looks like tactically here, we're seeing Jeremy Abobasi go from the center striker spot over to the far winger spot on the left-hand side of the pitch.
Loria tries to get by a couple defenders, cannot do so, but is able to help his team earn a throw. Central for Langsdorff as the ball's quickly back into play. Now to Zambrano, space in front of him. He likes to strike from there, but instead will play out to Farfan. Farfan controls down off the chest, will send the cross in, doesn't get it by his defender. Well, will let it run out for a corner kick.
That's good from T2. Getting the ball, getting it swung around to the far side. Marco Farfan trying to get a cross in. This is what we need to see from T2. Getting those numbers advanced, making sure they get these outside backs forward, find some width, and then get runners into the box.
Loria and Williamson trot over to take. We're going by the previous half. This will be Williamson to strike a right-footed in-swinger. It will indeed. Fizzes it towards the top of the 6-yard box, headed away, picked up by Zambrano, dribbling towards the corner, defended by Kaffa. Cross comes in, headed out once again for another corner kick for T2. So a little sustained pressure here from Portland, once again facing a 2-goal deficit.
And refreshing to see both teams matching up in terms of their man marking in the box, and having a player on the near post so important. We saw so many of these World Cup games that the player on the near post, you know, could save a goal.
Header won by Ribeiro. Hit up in the air by Cheney. Cannot control with his second touch. Allows Williamson to come back. Ribeiro will just send it to Farfan. Headed on by Jadama. Now down to the ground by Argueta, the goal scorer here in the second half. Pressured by Williams, T2 win the ball back.
And good to see Augie Williams getting in defensively. And really, I'm going to be watching to see how he runs that back line. So important that he gets the timing of his runs down. As a young player, it's so difficult to time those runs. He's got speed, but certainly sometimes he's just caught, you know, making his run way too early. And he needs just to hold his run and make sure he times it right to make sure he gets in behind and he's not offsides.
Fresno pick up the ball in the midfield. We'll play back to Cochran. We're just about at the hour mark. If you're just joining us, Fresno picked up the first 2 goals of this match. shoulder to shoulder, and eventually ends up in a goal kick for the Foxes. As mentioned, they picked up the first couple goals of this match in quick succession, 22nd and 24th minutes. Christian Cheney, Juan Pablo Caffa with the goals. Foster Langsdorff answered back on a penalty kick goal in the 37th minute. That was the score at halftime, 2-1 in favor of the visitors. And then in the 51st minute, Roni Argueta scored the goal to extend the lead back to 2 for Fresno. Header up in the air by Cheney. And out to touch for a T2 throw.
And T2 has to have a sense of urgency now on the ball. Get that ball moving side to side. Try to probe in the middle of the pitch. Try to find those soft spots in this Fresno FC midfield, because there certainly are. We've seen them, but they have to continue to move that ball quick.
Great dribble forward by Zambrano. And an important touch from Camden Fewo to play that out in front of Loria. Otherwise, he would have been in. Corner kick. Number 6 for T2. Loria has Zambrano short. But 7 men in and around the box to play to. We'll send it in towards the center and cleared away by Daly. Williamson rises, wins the header, and settles in front of Ribeiro. Now plays Loria in. It's on his right foot. He'll send it in. Langsdorff tries the diving header, but Ribeiro gets there in front of him and out to touch. Quickly thrown in to Zambrano. He'll play the cross pass to Jadama. Header won by Ellis Hayden, who will remain down, and we'll see our second substitution of the afternoon for Portland. Roy Miller will come off after 62 minutes of action. Jimmy Mulligan will replace him. And Nat Roy Miller, his second appearance, coming back from that torn Achilles at the end of last year. What'd you think?
Yeah, another 15 more minutes than the 45 minutes he got against Reno. I thought Roy Miller did a good job just settling things down on the back line. Good job of stepping into the midfield, winning balls, being aggressive when he needed to be, and then on the ball just very calm and collected. And I think unfortunate giving up that goal to Cheney. I think they could have done better with that. Certainly he and Tui Loma could have done a better job of marking Cheney there, but he's getting his legs back, and good to see him back on the pitch and getting fit.
So it'll be a bit of a shift for a couple players. Jadama, who is playing in the right back position, will slide in to the center back spot alongside Bill Tuiloma, and Jimmy Mulligan will play out on the right side along that back line for T2.
Yeah, we've seen Mulligan feature in the majority of these matches for T2, and he's been fun to watch. He likes to get up and down this right-hand side. Honest player, does a good job defensively, and definitely gets himself forward and gets opportunities on the offensive end of the field.
Just the second time this year that Mulligan didn't start, as Loria controls off his chest grab by Camden Fewo, but unfazed by that, will remain in possession, get it to Williamson in space.
T2 is going to have to be careful, though, in transition. Certainly, as they throw numbers forward, it's going to give Fresno the opportunity to counterattack. And as this game moves forward, there's going to be a lot of space back there for Fresno to attack. So T2 got to be careful with that. The leaders in the team, Billy Tuiloma and Jadama, certainly have to be careful.
Bad loss of possession from Williamson as Ribeiro picks it up. Tuiloma hard into Ribeiro, and we'll pick up our first caution of the match for that challenge and create a dangerous shooting opportunity from about 19 yards out for the visitors.
Now, Williamson has been uncharacteristically sloppy in this game. You'll see here he gets the ball and he tries to turn, doesn't get enough on the ball and turns it over there. And an easy turn for the Fresno offensive player, and Bill Tumula was just coming right in and just cleaning out Ribeiro here on the ball.
65th minute, and Juan Pablo Caffa will try and pick up a brace, it appears, as he will be the man that strikes this.
Be interested to see how Kendall McIntosh sets up his wall here. This is one of those opportunities, Fletcher, where the ball is so close to the penalty box that it's difficult to get that dip, get that ball up and down. So as an offensive player, you want to try to go around the wall, or you want to try to go in the wall. So through the wall or underneath the wall. It'd be interesting to see what Kaffa does here.
Whistle blows. Kaffa will strike it, tries to put it over the top and back down, and he does so. My goodness, what a goal from Kaffa, and it's 4-1 to the visitors.
And we'll see here that Kaffa just does a nice chip over the wall there and gets it in that far corner there. Kendall McIntosh just getting caught too far over on the other side, but this is a fantastic goal. What a wonderful little chip shot. Just a dink shot over the wall there. Kendall McIntosh doesn't have time to get back over, and it's 4-1 to the visitors. Seems like they're going to be definitely in the driver's seat right now.
Well, as we mentioned in the first half, when this Fresno team wins, they do it by multiple goals. They find the back of the net, and they tend to do it multiple times in a game. And they've done it again here today at Merlo Field. And now it will take a gargantuan effort from T2 to earn a result here this afternoon. See our second caution card as Lauria was fouled. Verhoeven goes in the book.
But you have to say that that wound was self-inflicted there, Fletcher. Certainly with Williamson giving the ball away in possession, Tuiloma having to commit the foul in a dangerous position at the top of the box. But Kaffa, a very good free kick there. I didn't expect him to be able to go over the wall like that, show that kind of a goal. I was just thinking he's going to have to go around the wall or underneath the wall. But hey, he went over the wall and he scored a magnificent goal.
Yep, it was a great finish from the 33-year-old Santa Fe, Argentina native to extend the lead for a team that is carrying a ton of confidence right now at the midway point of the season. Lauria, nifty work to keep it in front of Ribeiro. Augustine Williams, and quiet since he's entered this match, of Bobasi. Out to Williams. Fresno happy to concede possession 50 yards from goal as Jimmy Mulligan tries to get around Camden Fewo. Goes down, and the foul called on Mulligan. No, rather it's called on Camden Fewo. No, it's called on Verhoeven. So it'll end up in a T2 free kick. Dangerous crossing opportunity here. Must have called Camden Fewo for early contact as Mulligan was trying to get around him. In the end, Lauria has an opportunity to strike an in-swinger. Two-man wall in front of him. He'll swing it in. Langsdorff tried to get on the end of it. Farfan ends up striking it on his unfavored right foot. And Fresno try and clear. Argueta plays it out off of Augustine Williams for a throw.
You're looking at this as a T2 player, you're 3 goals in the hole right now, and it's going to be very important not to let that frustration get to you, because you're certainly thinking, okay, the game could be over. There is time, however, to really play for pride. Certainly, make sure you don't give up another goal. Make sure that you push for, a second goal. Certainly, we talked about in the open how important it was for T2 to really get that offensive line clicking. And that would be important for them today, and they really haven't got the opportunities that we would like to see them get consistently.
Ball forward for Lauria, who was able to bring down in front of Daly. Gets around his man, has a chance to cross, and it's cut out by Daly. Important touch in front of Augustine Williams, who would have had a chance to put one on target had that ball gotten to him. Instead, it's Fresno that comes the other way. Looks like Williamson got the ball, but the trailing leg came through and caught Verhoeven. And Mariscal blows his whistle for the foul.
And it's wonderful work here from Lauria. He's just able to get in behind, and a great ball from Foster Langsdorff. Gets him right in behind. Nice little touch here. Gets right by Daly, I believe, and then tries to cross the ball. I would like to see him just try to put that between the keeper's legs. However, goes for the unselfish plays and tries to cross the ball across the box. But good job defending by Fresno in the end.
T2 have had opportunities. They haven't necessarily taken advantage of them today, Nat, but one of those things that we talked about in the first half, when things are going so well, it seems like you can do no wrong. Now it seems like T2 just cannot do anything right.
No, and certainly when things aren't going your way and you get a little bit sloppy in possession and you bit lethargic in your energy sometimes, then that shows in the results and shows in the goals that you allow. And on the defensive end, that this team just hasn't looked as solid as we've seen them in previous matches.
As we cross into the 71st minute, and Kaffa can't control, gives us an opportunity to talk a little bit more about everything going on over in Russia. We're down to the semifinals. France, Belgium in one, England and Croatia in the other. Now, what have your thoughts been on what we've seen so far?
I mean, we got to talk about England, Fletcher. I mean, certainly to see them in this stage of the game, a semifinal berth, unbelievable, considering the expectations for them, because they weren't even expected to get out of the round of 16 for their team. So to see them do that, they've been playing with a back three at times, a back four at times. Gareth Southgate's got them dialed in defensively. We've seen a lot of set-piece goals from them. It's been fun. And then they're matched up against the Croatia side, which I think has been underwhelming. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how that game goes. But can you imagine England being in the final of the World Cup? And certainly on the other side with France, Belgium, I mean, those are two powerhouse teams. It's going to be fun to watch that semifinal game.
The golden age of Belgium soccer. Same thing for Croatia. You think of the names, Luka Modric, Mandzukic, and others. Leg up on Augustine Williams. Croatia, the first team to win back-to-back penalty kick games since 1994, I believe it was.
I think you have to say that the nerves are frazzled for all those players involved. I mean, to go through two penalty kick games in succession. I remember doing that 2008 with RSL and playing against Chicago, went into penalty kicks. We won. When played MLS Cup against LA Galaxy, went into penalty kicks, we won. But I mean, my nerves were frazzled for like another 12 months after that. Just a lot of nervous moments. But yeah, it's been so much fun, Fletcher, because you're seeing teams in this Final Four that you weren't really expecting. I mean, I think you could make an argument that France and Belgium were somewhat expected, but not to see Spain, not to see Germany, not to see Brazil in the Final Four is interesting. And then to see England and Croatia, it's been fun.
It has been a lot of fun to watch as Cam Demfewo brings the ball forward, sends it in. Important header by Jadama to send it back out to Mulligan, who plays square and forward for Williamson as this game starts to stretch out more and more. Fresno ready to make their second substitution at the next dead ball as it's cleared away.
And you'd have to think that the majority of these players are watching these World Cup games, and as you're watching these games, you're learning something. You're watching Luka Modric and his movement for Croatia. You're watching Harry Kane if you're a striker, and you're thinking, okay, how can I improve my game by watching this guy, this professional who is doing everything right at this high level.
Ball in for Cheney, who's onside, defended by Tuiloma 1v1. Cheney leaves the ball behind. Loria comes back, make that Mulligan comes back, knocks it back to Kendall McIntosh. It's interesting, Belgium was trailing 2-0 to Japan. They come back, win the game in regulation time, which was incredibly impressive. That's the type of win that can carry you on to a World Cup title. On the other side, England, known for their nightmares in penalty kick shootouts, gets a win in a penalty kick shootout. That's the type of win that could propel you on to a World Cup title. And same thing with Croatia, to win back-to-back penalty kick games against Denmark and Russia. Should they have done better? Should they have won those games in regulation with the names they have on their roster? Absolutely. But I think the three teams that are there have pretty strong arguments why they're there and that they should be the team that lifts the trophy when it's all said and done.
And the absolute anguish on the faces of the Japanese opponents. You saw Senegal not even being able to get out of the group. and they were an excellent team due to the fair play tiebreaker. You look at Russia, the run they made, and you're thinking, wow, they shouldn't even match up with some of these teams, and how well they did. It's just been mouth-watering, you know, for the viewers just to sit there and enjoy this soccer, to enjoy the passion, and just to have fun watching the beautiful game.
It'll be Belgium and France on Tuesday. England and Croatia on Wednesday. The World Cup final next Sunday. As a handball on Camden Faywo earns T2 a free kick from a very similar position to a few minutes ago. T2 need to pull one back. In from Zambrano, punched away by Cochran. Chested down by Williamson. To Farfan. Out of Mulligan. Try the long diagonal in the direction of Loria. Great ball and well controlled by Loria. Dribbles central. Gets away from Barrera, still dribbling. Now to find a Bobasi. Top of the box, takes the shot. And Cochran not worried as that rose high and wide of his net.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Loria in this second half. I mean, he started a little bit slow in this half, but now he's really grown into it. He's had a couple of opportunities on this right-hand side, cutting in on that dangerous left foot and really attracting a ton of defenders and creating space for the likes of Jeremy Abobasi. As we'll see here, Abobasi gets the ball on his left-hand foot, needs to get his head over the ball and try to get that on net. But again, Marvin Loria really creating the opportunity for him there.
Cheney is fouled by Marco Farfan. Into the final 15 minutes of regulation time, barring a miracle. Fresno FC will have their second win on the road and 6th win overall here in 2018. Move them a step closer to the playoffs as well. While T2 will still again be searching to rediscover their rhythm. This is the first of 3 consecutive home matches. Face off with Swope Park Rangers 6 short days from now. And then their first ever meeting with Las Vegas Lights on July 22nd to close out the homestand.
And these are character moments for a team like T2. If I'm Cam Knowles, I'm watching the field very closely right now to see who stands up, to see who is going to continue to fight, to continue to bring energy to this game, continue to try to get that next goal, because certainly it's easy when you're down 3 goals just to give up, to call it a day, not to give your best effort. But certainly a character opportunity here for Cam Knowles to watch his players and see who wants to perform.
Can be such a challenge for clubs like T2, a part of the Portland Timbers organization, helping develop players through success, in the words of Cameron Knowles. Found that early on in the year after a tough 2017. Foul called here on Fresno, and Marvin Loria will have a chance to potentially put one on frame here.
I like really the seam that Marvin Loria finds here, and he's able to get the ball inside on his left foot and really take that challenge well. It's a good call from the referee. And again, another opportunity for T2. I would really like to see them get another good opportunity on goal here and get themselves back into this game, because there is still time left to make themselves get back in this game and potentially get some goals.
Very similar position to where Loria scored his lone goal from against Los Dos a couple months ago now. This one a little further out. Try and curl it with that left boot into the upper 90. He will strike. It takes a deflection and goes into the back of the net. Marvin Loria has his 2nd goal of 2018, and it's now 4-2 in favor of the visitors in the 79th minute.
And you'll have to say that Marvin Loria deserves this goal here with the way he's been playing, the positions he's been taking, and that lethal left foot that he's got. He deserves this goal, and certainly he takes this goal well. Looks like it comes off of a defender in the wall there on that inside of the wall and just deflects into the goal. Nothing the goalkeeper can do about that. And Marvin Loria says, hey, I'm going to take that goal. And 4-2 now, only down 2 goals. Let's see what T2 can do.
Daly's long ball forward. Cheney tries to get a touch to it before Jadama controls, cannot do so. We got 10+ minutes still to play in regulation here, plus stoppage time. And you know what they say, Nat, the 2-goal advantage is the most dangerous in soccer, as Loria tries to control that Jimmy Mulligan cannot do so. Jamal Johnson, the recent second-half substitute, picks it up and is chested off it, shouldered off it by Zambrano. Nice work by the defensive midfielder to win it back for T2.
Really like that fight from Renzo Zambrano. When he makes up his mind that he wants to win a ball, he just goes in there like a bulldog and really fights for those balls. And, you know, I talk about the World Cup. I think about Brazil, Fletcher, and I think about, you know, how they had won 26 games in a row, or had been unbeaten in 26 games and had this great run. But what they have never experienced was being down a goal. And I think that that showed up in the later stages. They weren't able to overcome a deficit against Belgium. And then next thing you know, they're out of the tournament. So these are opportunities when you're down a goal to really show your character and show what you're made of.
Cheney is down on the field, holding on to his leg right now. Now back up to his feet. Looks like Adam Smith and Fresno are readying to make their third substitution of the match. Potentially Cheney, will have to wait and see. But the man coming on will be Frank Tayu, who scored from 60 yards away, caught Sacramento Republic keeper Josh Cohen off his line in the late stages of a 2-0 win for Fresno over Sacramento in the battle for Highway 99 in their last match. So it will be Cheney off, and the 28 Frank Tayu on for Fresno.
I think Cheney had an excellent first half. He took up some good positions in between the center backs of T2. Got his goal, which was important for the team, but we really didn't see much of him in the second half. I don't think he was as active as he needed to be to get on the ball, and certainly wasn't able to find as many dangerous opportunities to score.
Foul called on the long restart from T2.
You talk about center strikers, number 9s, and I have to think about how well Samuel Armenteros is playing for the Portland Timbers right now. It seems like every time that guy is on the ball, he is dangerous. And he's just got this energy about him. He's got this aura about him, and he's scoring goals. He's being dangerous, and that's what these guys at this level need to do to continue to be relevant. They need to stay dangerous for entire stretches of the match. Just not 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here. They need to stay dangerous for entire games, just like Samuel Armenteros.
And it seems like that's where, you know, a lot of players could potentially struggle at this league, is finding different ways to create opportunities, showing that creativity. That's something that Samuel Armenteros of the MLS Timbers does very well, and there's a reason that he plays at that level, and it's because of things like that. How, I imagine it can be challenging for players to come up with those creative ideas time and time again over the course of 90 minutes.
Yeah, I think it takes a special player, a player definitely with a creative mind, and with certainly an ego. You know, Ross and Jake and I talk about this all the time. Samuel Armenteros has a larger-than-life ego, and that propels him to make these audacious moves on the ball, to try these things that nobody else would try.
Jamal Johnson gets the ball top of the box, takes the shot, and well wide of Kendall McIntosh's left post with his left boot. Jamal Johnson, the leading goal scorer for Fresno FC. Played for Blackburn Rovers and Wolverhampton early in his pro career back in 2004 through 2007. And more recently played for Giovanni Savarese, current MLS Timbers manager, with the New York Cosmos in 2013 and 14. Scored this Fresno FC club's first ever goal against Las Vegas Lights.
And you can already see the impact he's making on the game, you know, taking up positions in the middle of the field. His first touch is really good, and by all accounts, he's got a boomstick of a shot that T2 is going to have to be aware of. And then on that last play, you saw there, Kaffa getting outside wide. He's had a great game, you know, really instrumental in finding those passes, and Johnson finding that central location, and probably should have done better on that shot. But T2 is going to have to be aware of that if they want to stay in this game.
Mdem Fewo, the long dribble forward, still has it, now finds his target man who's offside. Frank Tayu played him a little too late, and Tayu couldn't hold his run. Ends up in a restart for Portland. Watch to get exclusive video content and photography from across the USL. You can do so by following the league's official Instagram account at USL Soccer. Williams rises for the header. Can't get there in front of Del Campo. And cleared long by Camden Fewo. Eventually settled by Zambrano. Just in front of Johnson, finds Mulligan. Now Augustine Williams into the box. Great first touch, great second touch, leaves for Langsdorff, top of the box, tries to backheel to Jeremy Abobasi, does not come off. Ball forward, won by Tuiloma, straight up into the air, and Argueta chases it down. Argueta acres of space in front of him. Now Farfan back to defend from a forward position. Johnson, one touch to Argueta. Play back to Ribeiro. Fresno faded late in the first half. Will they do so here in the last 5 minutes plus stoppage time of the second half? Williamson wins it back for T2. Now they will look to quickly bring it the other direction. Switch the point of attack over here to Jimmy Mulligan. Now to Loria. Loria, central for Mulligan. Lays it off for Zambrano. T2 need a pair of goals. If they're able to erase a 3-goal deficit, I think it's safe to say that would build some confidence in the side, but still 2 goals to go. Farfan controls. Defended by Ellis Hayden. He'll play back to Jadama at the center line. Pressured by Tayu. Jadama goes down, and a foul called on Tayu.
Game certainly opening up here, Fletcher, a bit. A lot of tired legs on both sides of the ball, and certainly going to create some opportunities on both ends of the pitch. If T2 are fortunate here, they're going to be able to create another couple opportunities.
Loria to Zambrano. Zambrano, prep touch, now out wide to Farfan. Farfan will send the cross in. Over the head of the first man, nearly finds Langsdorff. Cochran off his line, comes out to catch. Langsdorff was there. It got over Daly. Past Langsdorff, and then Del Campo headed up in the air.
This is a good cross from Marco Farfan here, and Langsdorff takes up a great position in front of the goal. I think he just sees this ball late, maybe a late touch by the defender, but isn't able to get his head on the ball and direct it on goal.
Missed opportunity there for Portland. Final 3.5 minutes plus stoppage time. T2 needing a pair of goals. Johnson dummies on to Tayu and cut out by Jadama. It was important because Tayu was playing back for Johnson, who was making the run. Now Loria, who's been dynamic all afternoon. Central for Zambrano, lays it off for Jadama. Forward for Abobasi, controls down to Zambrano. Zambrano taken down 45 yards from goal. And T2 will make their third and final substitution of the afternoon. Harold Hansen will come on for Eric Williamson. Have to imagine that Hansen will push more forward to try and help this T2 side find a pair of goals.
Yeah, Harold Hansen with a ton of speed out there on the flank. But I really wanted to see if this was an offsides play here against Fresno. It looks like you just barely offsides. I think the referee gets this one right, and a great save by Kendall McIntosh in the end of that one.
Restart will come from Loria. Towards the back post. Hansen gets a touch to it, can't direct it back towards goal though, and ends up in a goal kick.
Yeah, we saw Harold Hansen score a nice couple of goals. A nice goal in behind a few games ago, and it was a play from Madu Jadama, just playing him in a long ball in behind the back line. He just got speed to burn, Harold Hansen, and I would like to see him try and use that speed in the later moments of this game, but may not be possible with all the numbers back for Fresno FC.
All pinging around up in the air. Header eventually won by Daly. Now Zambrano called for a foul. He's not happy, nor is the fan base here, as Ribeiro will stay down. Have to imagine with the heat, happy to waste a little bit of time here.
Yeah, and I think Zambrano's going to feel hard done by this one. Looks like he's the one who gets fouled there by Ribeiro, I believe it is, but fortunately doesn't get on the right end of that call.
Haven't been too many stoppages, although now Fresno players grabbing water to waste a little bit more time. Restart comes from Rivero out to the far side to find Danny Barrera. Was a part of that Cal FC team back in 2012 that defeated the MLS Timbers in the U.S. Open Cup, 4th round. As this time, T2 will get the call. Farfan taken down. And quickly get the ball back to play. Loria, nifty work to get by 2 defenders. He's got space in front of him. He's got Jimmy Mulligan out wide. He'll go and find him. Mulligan, heavy first touch and shielded out of play by Camden Faywo.
Again, another opportunity for Marvin Loria really to showcase that skill he has. He's got 3 players around him. He's able to get out of that tight space and be able to get a nice crossing ball to Jimmy Mulligan, who unfortunately doesn't do as well with it as he should. And another missed opportunity for T2.
Into stoppage time, 3 minutes to play at the discretion of Alejandro Mariscal. Tuiloma on Tayu's back. T2 earn back possession. Hard to imagine more than 2 or 3 opportunities left in this match for T2, so they'll have to take advantage of all of them. Shot blocked by Del Campo from Augustine Williams. Now back post, Langsdorff controls with his hand. And Fresno will surely take their time with this restart. Just haven't been able to find that rhythm. Nat, somewhat expected with 6 changes from the last match. Some players who haven't played for this T2 side since April or early May. But I think they were hoping for more out of this match, given they were playing a team in their first season in USL that have found some success, but certainly not a whole ton on the road, as this will just be Fresno's 2nd road win of the season.
Yeah, and I think Cam Knowles will be disappointed because the goals that they gave up in this game were soft goals. Let's be honest with ourselves. In the first goal, preventable goal, certainly not good marking in the box. Second goal is a penalty, clear penalty, a little bit clumsy from Loria, and then you see Argueta on a set piece, and then you see Kafa. You know, with the final touches there to shore things up for his side. And, you know, again, you want to see T2, if you're going to give up goals, you get broken down a little bit more than that. So I think he's going to be a bit disappointed in his team's performance defensively, certainly.
Harold Hansen called for the foul in the center circle on Argueta. Mariscal will call him over for a quick conversation. As Fresno a minute away from 3 points.
It looks like Hansen just comes in a bit late there. Just gets him late, and you can see a little bit of frustration here from T2 players, probably some late fouls.
Frank Tayu maintains possession. Will try and find Jamal Johnson. Does. Johnson's shot blocked by Renzo Zambrano. Johnson cannot pick up his 8th goal of the year, thanks to defensive work by Renzo Zambrano. Now here comes Hansen dribbling it forward. Plays it down the line for Augustine Williams. Williams pressured by Del Campo. Ball holds up. Williams still with it. We've played the 3 minutes. We'll see how much more time there is left. Tuiloma out wide to Farfan. Cut away by Hayden Ellis. And there's the final whistle. Fresno FC make it a happy return to Portland for their head manager, Adam Smith, who is the club's goalkeeping coach, the MLS Timbers, that is, in the club's first 2 years in Major League Soccer. And Fresno FC move their record to 6-7-7 on 25 points. Nat, your quick thoughts on the 90 minutes we saw today.
Yeah, Cam Knowles will be disappointed in his team's performance today. Some soft goals given up, some sloppy passing. Certainly happy with the first half, getting themselves back in the game, but the second half definitely leaves a lot to be wanting for.
We'll come back with full match stats and highlights and wrap things up for Merlo Field after this. Back live for a final time here at Merlo Field. It finishes in favor of the visitors. Fresno FC 4-2 over Portland Timbers 2. Nat, 4 consecutive losses now for Portland Timbers 2 after a great start to the year. They have a couple home matches coming up, but disappointing to say the least.
Yeah, disappointing certainly, and I think that if you're Cam Knowles, you really got to find a way to regroup to get yourself out of this funk, whether that comes in training or whether it comes in the next game. It was a disappointing performance on both sides of the ball. I think that if there was a bright spot, a silver lining, it was Marvin Loria. I think he had a wonderful game, you know, trying to find those spaces, running at the back line, creating some opportunities, a good set-piece goal from him. But otherwise, it's back to the drawing board. Have to get things right for the next game.
Let's go ahead and take a look back at the highlights from this one. Couple chances for either side in the first quarter hour, but it was Fresno that opened the scoring in the 22nd minute.
Yeah, this first goal just kills you. It's a great work from Cheney to peel off the other side of the defender here. Gets a nice opportunistic bounce between the legs and bam, just smashes that ball into the upper corner. No chance for the goalkeeper, Kendall McIntosh.
Moments later, it was Marvin Loria who committed a foul on a Fresno player in the box, Zachary Ellis-Hayden, and it led to this penalty kick goal for Juan Pablo Caffa.
Yeah, and Caffa was dangerous all day today, and he gets 2 goals. The first one coming here. No chance for Kendall on this penalty kick.
13 minutes later, Phil Tuiloma's header back into the box on the Marvin Loria cross, bounced off of Hayden Ellis's arm, and Foster Langsdorff pulled one back.
And you're thinking at this point in time, okay, T2 are back in the game. It's a good finish from Foster Langsdorff, only down a goal, going into halftime. Now the second half, it's up to them really to get on the front foot.
We moved to the second half, and it was really dominated by Fresno FC, if we're being fair. 51st minute, Ronnie Argueta found the back of the net.
Yeah, and it was off of a set piece there, corner kick, second ball coming out. Some shouts for maybe a penalty there, but a good playing back to Argueta and a great finish from him one time to make the score 3-1.
Caffa, meanwhile, Loria, deflected goal for him late on in this match, 79th minute, made it just a 2-goal deficit for Portland.
Yeah, and T2 deserved this goal. Loria especially, they've been putting a lot of pressure on this back line, and it's a well-taken free kick. Just hits off the side of the wall and goes in, no chance for the goalkeeper Cochran.
Loria's second of the year was not enough for T2 this afternoon as they fall 4-2 to Fresno FC. As mentioned, Fresno plays 5 of their next 6 at home. As we look at the match stats, pretty even numbers across the board. but in the moments that mattered most, Fresno was better.
Yeah, certainly, and it's in those final stages, the final third of the game is where the battles are won and lost, and certainly you'd have to say Fresno FC had the better of those with the 4 goals. And again, I think T2, if you're being honest with yourself, they weren't good enough defensively. A lot of self-inflicted wounds, especially in that final goal from Kafa. Some poor possession there from Williamson gives up that opportunity. Tui Loma fouls, and then it's a great set piece from Kafa.
And I have to say I was mistaken. Fresno actually plays 5 of their next 6 on the road. They'll play their lone home match coming up on July 14th against Phoenix Rising at 7 p.m. Meanwhile, for Portland Timbers 2, next 2 at home, they'll play July 14th against Swope Park Rangers back here at Merlo Field at 7 p.m. And then July 22nd against Las Vegas Lights at 2 p.m. at Providence Park that afternoon. Well, Marvin Loria Foster Langsdorff with the goals for T2 was not enough this afternoon here on a sunsplash day at Merlo Field. Fresno picks up their 6th win of the year, dropping Portland Timbers 2 to 8-8-2 on the season. We'll talk to you in 6 short days for Portland Timbers 2 and Swope Park Rangers right back here at Merlo Field. Until then, for our entire broadcast team, as well as my broadcast partner, Nat Borchers, I'm Fletcher Johnson. We'll talk to you next Saturday for more Portland Timbers 2 USL Soccer.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.